Yo, man, we back again. Me and your boy Mike Oliver the second. What's going on with you, Mike?
Not much, man. How you doing?
Doing good, man. I'm glad to be here, man. Episode 3. We don't have a name for what we doing, but right now we know it's episode 3, and you know, today's topic is the keys to preparation.
Right.
All right, yeah, man. So before we get started, man, how's your day been going? Man? What's new with you?
Day's been going great. Got to woke up this morning, got to see another day. Had a great day at work. Got to get a lot of stuff done, and just thankful to just be able to grow in this new opportunity to learn. So I'm just thankful.
Man, sounds great.
Mhm.
All right, here we go, man. Start with this keys to preparation, man. So, can you share your perspective on why preparation is essential to various aspects of your life and anybody else's life, and what you think what that means?
Yeah, I think preparation is key for anything in life. I mean, just coming up with a plan. Well, number one, just putting God first. I mean, and this like the Bible says in Habakkuk chapter 2, verse 2, it says, "Write the vision down and make it plain, so that those who read it may run with it. And although the vision may tarry, wait." And I feel like that's so key because sometimes like we can write out stuff and then when we don't see the results, we kind of like get in disbelief or we end up just like giving up on the plan. But when you write that vision down, it's gonna come to pass. It may not come to pass when you want it, but eventually it's gonna come to pass if it's in God's will. And so that's one of my favorite scriptures because I know like anything I write down, if it's lined up with God's will for my life, I know it's gonna come to pass. And one quote that I always remind myself is that what's meant for you won't pass you by. And I'll say that again, like what's meant for you won't pass you by.
What's meant for you won't pass you by.
Yeah.
Okay, I like that.
Mhm.
So I can tell. I'm sure everybody else can tell that God plays a big role in your life.
Yes, 100%. I mean, my foundation is built upon the Lord. And I mean, without God, I'm nothing. And so just being able to just find scriptures that apply to anything I'm going to and just coming up with a plan. Like, and just like I said before, like Habakkuk 2:2, write the vision down, make it plain. And that's one thing that I've interpreted in my life now is like vision boards. So I had like my vision boards for 2024 and everything that I'm believing God for in this year is I've already like got like I cut it out and I put it on my poster board. And so I meditate on it in the morning when I wake up, when I do my devotions, and I meditate right before I go to bed. And each time something comes across that I accomplish, I always mark it off. But you have to have something visual to work with.
Right. Something visual so you can see it, see the
Yep,
vision, see pretty much where you're going or where you want to be, right?
100%.
Man, that sounds good, man.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. All right. So, what are some of the common mistakes people make when preparing for a task or event that you feel like? And you can talk about maybe personal experience you've had with that same thing.
That's a good question. I feel like sometimes people tend to overthink it. And then when they don't see the results at that immediate, they tend
Something might have happened. Not sure. Sound had went out on your end. Yeah, I think something happened and your mic had muted. Let me see. I'm not sure. Yeah, I think it has your mic muted real quick, so we can pause for a minute, wait for you to come back in.
hear me.
There we go. Back,
Oh
you know
yeah.
what I'm saying? Have a little technical difficulties, but we good to go. We were the last thing we're asking about what are some of the common mistakes people make when preparing for a task or event? And we also said if you had some personal experience with, those kind of mistakes or, preparing for a task or event, you could
Oh yeah.
elaborate on that also. So, sometimes people think that like some people think that some other people that seems like everything goes right for them, they feel like they everything they touch is gold, and they feel like they're the only ones that go through things. but everyone goes through things. Sometimes people just don't broadcast it or talk about it or show it. They just kind of hide it, or either they're good at, continue to, persevere on. So can you talk about like some of the common mistakes people make when preparing for, a task or event or a goal or whatever it is?
Yeah, it's a quote I've always told: when you fail to plan, you plan to fail. And a lot of times people just come up with an idea and they don't never have a plan in place for it. And you always got to have a plan A, which is the main plan, but then you always got to also have like a backup plan just in case if something was to ever go south. That way you have something to fall back on. And I know that was one of the things that growing up with me, like I never had like a backup plan because I was all focused on one plan. And then when that first plan didn't go through like it was, I would fall flat on my face. But it's also a good learning experience because that way you can learn what went right and what went wrong. So that way in the future you know how to overcome it the next time.
Man, right, exactly, man.
And
So like,
I was young and hard headed
I'm
at the
sorry,
time.
what were you saying?
I was young and hard headed at the time, so it was times where I wanted to just branch out on my own and try something. I didn't have a plan. I didn't have the resources in place, the finances or anything. I just wanted to just get out and do it, and that's how I fell flat on my face. But it was a big learning experience for me, and it gave me wisdom in certain areas of my life.
Wow. Are you doing this when you were younger, when you were a kid? What were your dreams? What did you want to who or what did you want to be when you like became an adult when you were younger? Do you remember, or did you change a lot, or do you have like one thing that you just always wanted to do or had intentions on doing?
I always wanted to be a lawyer growing up because I used to always want to talk, but then that ended up changing. But I remember growing up, I mean, I just walked because I would watch movies and whatnot, and I would see, I want to be a lawyer, I want to be a lawyer. But then when I found out the requirements and wanting to go to school, I was like, nah, I'm not doing that.
Oh,
I'm
you
not,
want to be like a criminal lawyer, or what kind of lawyer do you think you want?
well, it was a movie I was watching. I forgot what the name of it was. I'm like, dang, I was like, these people, so they dressed up in suits. I was like, they got the briefcases and everything. I was like, I want to, I want to be a lawyer. But then when I looked at the requirements, it said 15 years of school. I'm like, oh no,
Yeah, I
give
know
me
what
my
you mean by that, man. I wanted
more.
I think I know I didn't wanna be a lawyer or anything, but did wanna, like, have some kind of, career where I could dress up in a suit, maybe drive a Mercedes and look like I'm as important or something. I know what it requires to be a lawyer, and I wouldn't be willing to, go through what it requires, but I definitely, hold them high, and I definitely, respect lawyers and stuff like that. I mean, if anything, I wanted to be like an architect, but, like I said, same thing, I didn't wanna go to school for it, so that's something I'll probably, like, wanna do on my like, as a hobby, be able to design and all that stuff. I, like, do it for fun. I don't wanna do it, like, have to go do it for, like,
Right.
clock in, clock out type thing, so
Yeah.
it's crazy, man. Um, how do you recommend organizing materials and resources for effective preparation?
Number one, the key is having an organizer. Just being able to write everything out. Have a notebook, and I mean, I go to Target now, and there's different type of notebooks that I like, and so I just found me a notebook, and then I always have like different folders, and I have a calendar, and I enter everything on my calendar. I write it out. Whether it's like, okay, if I have to go, if I have like a lunch appointment, if I have a dental appointment, that way I'm getting in the strategy of forming those good habits that we talked about last week because no matter what plan you come up with, you got to form the right habits in order for that plan to work. And I'll say it again: in order for your plan to work, you have to have the right habits established. And
Right,
so
so in
just
order
being
for your
able,
plan to work, you have to have the right habits to establish.
yeah, you have to have the right habits in place. Like say for example, your plan or goal is to put on some muscle. Okay, well, what habits are you going to form to gain muscle? Okay, habit number one, you may have to wake up early. Habit number two, you have to get a gym membership. Habit number three, you don't even have to get a gym membership. You can just go to Walmart or somewhere and get some weights. But the key to that plan or goal is to build muscle, and so you have to form the habits in order to create that. And it's the same way with life. If you have a plan to perhaps, let's say you want to pay your car off in the next year or two, okay, what habits are you going to put in place in order to pay that off? Okay, well, you may have to cut up on spending. on eating out. I know everybody, we love to eat out. I know I do. You may have to cut back. You may have to cut back on some stuff. You may have to look at paying. Okay, here's another little way. Okay, here, pay down the principal on your car. You owe $10,000 left on your car. Make an extra principal payment. Ask your bank or whoever you financing for an amortization chart, and then they'll be able to detail it to where you can show how much is going to principal and how much is going to interest. And then that way you look up and then bam, it's done.
Wow, that makes sense. Make a whole lot of sense, man.
Mhm.
Can you share a personal experience where preparation played a crucial role in achieving success?
Yeah, so when I was attending Greenville Tech, I had a goal that I wanted to finish school in 2 years. That was my goal. I had been through a lot. I had actually fell flat on my face when I had attended and everything, but I just knew that God had a plan for my life, and I knew that if I just stuck to the plan that He had, and I had faith, and I just believed, I said everything is going to come to pass. And that's just motivation for anybody right now that you may not understand. Okay, like I got these goals, I got this plan, but I don't see nothing working. You just gotta have faith. And the Bible says that if two or three are gathered in His name, then the Lord, He'll be in the midst. And so you just need two or three people that are in agreement with you. You don't need a whole tribe. Just two or three people that are believing with you that hey, this is going to come to pass. And so I just stuck with that in my. I just always had that belief in my heart. And so I had like, okay, I'm gonna start off at two classes. Did that my first semester, and I was like, you know what? Like I want to go and I want to take two more classes. So that spring semester, I took two more. I kid you not, bro. I never took summer classes ever before. So that summer, I loaded up and I took three classes, which was equivalent to 9 hours. And then I had went to the actual course and I printed out the course sheet for all the classes that I needed in order to get that degree. And I would just highlight through each course every time I would get done with it and everything. And so it got after the summer session, after summer school, I'm like, dang, like I really could knock this out next year. And I said, because I only needed 10 classes, so I doubled up and I took five classes, which is like 15 hours. And then that spring, I was done, and I was done in 2 years. And that was just like, and that just came from preparation. Like I would make sure that I was going to the library Monday through Thursday, making sure all my assignments, quizzes, tests were done, making sure that if I had any group projects, that we all scheduled a time to meet together and make sure all that was done. So just preparation was key for that.
Gotcha. What would you say was your biggest distraction as a teenager, or as far as you know, you getting out of high school, getting ready to go into college, and what would be your biggest thing that was distracting to you, like as being a roadblock or something that was pulling you from, guess, doing what you needed to do in order to, I guess, succeed in your preparation.
My mindset, I wasn't in the right state of mind, and so like my biggest enemy was myself at that time because I was holding myself back from everything that God was wanting to release to me because I would just complain and complain and complain about stuff and I wasn't moving forward. If anything, I was moving backwards, and I had to hit rock bottom in order to realize that like I'm really holding myself back. And eventually, once I got my life back right and I started truly believing in the Word and just devoting everything to the Lord, I started seeing the results.
Gotcha, man. I mean, what strategies do you suggest for overcoming unexpected obstacles during preparation and process? Like, do you have any strategies that you can suggest for people that might be watching this that may be like going through the exact same thing, like their mindsets like really pulling away, their upbringing, their having issues with their parents, maybe having issues with friends, peer pressure, whatever. Do you have any kind of like strategies for anyone right now that their mindset is holding them back? Their pride is holding them back. Like social media is holding them back because, like I said before, they're watching everybody's highlight reel, so they see such and such posting. Oh, I just had another win for the week, or another win for the day, and it just not that they are, I guess, envy of that person. It's just they wondering when they're gonna get their chance, and they just don't know how because of their circumstances. Do you have any
Yeah,
kind of suggestions or any kind of strategies that someone that's in that position may be able to, use to be able to help them, I guess, maneuver to just taking one step up? Because once you get to that one step, you can get to the next step.
that's true. Yeah, so it's two scriptures. If you're watching it right now, you can write them down. If not, then there may be a way on here we can put it in the notes, but it's the first one is Romans chapter 8 verse 28, and it reads, "For we know that God works all things together for our good." And the way I read that scripture is, "For we know that God works all things together." Then I'll insert my name. For example, for we know that God works all things together for Michael Oliver II's good. Then the second scripture is Galatians chapter 6 verse 9, and it reads, "Let us not grow weary in well doing, for in due season we'll reap what we sow." And those two scriptures, whenever I'm struggling with my mindset or anything, I always fall back to those scriptures because they work. Um, I would first say just making sure that you have a relationship with the Lord, and that's just finding scriptures on what you're dealing with and just meditate on it day and night. Then secondly, accountability partner. That's why we always told each other, like even last year was like, we're gonna hold each other accountable at all times and through everything, because that's what people need. I mean, you'll see people, like you said, you see people with success and everything, and it's like dang, like I want to be like that, and you having the right people around you who are doing those things and whatnot, who are holding you accountable, you'll get to those goals. And then last but not least, just believing in yourself. I always tell people, like, you are your own brand. What makes you different from everybody else? It's just Pepsi and Coca-Cola. They're both soda products. They both look the same, but it's always that one little small thing that one person may go to Coca-Cola over Pepsi, or a person may go to Pepsi over Coca-Cola. And it's the same way, like, what's that one thing that differentiates you from everybody else? And once you find that, run with it and just continue to add value once you find it, because it works.
Wow. That's powerful, man. Definitely, man.
You are
I
your
mean,
own
what
brand.
role do you feel like communication plays in successful preparation, especially when you collaborate with others? Like, what role do you feel like plays a successful communication plays a successful preparation when you're collaborating with other people?
Communication, that's the biggest thing, and accountability. You always want to have people that are going to hold you accountable. Like, hey, when you're doing good, they hold you accountable, but when you're not doing what you're supposed to, they hold you accountable. Like, hey, like, this is the plan, this is the goals that you said you want to do. Okay, like, what's up? Like, what's the results? Like, I mean, you say you want it, but how bad do you want it? It's easy to say one thing, but are you doing anything? Are you putting in the habits? Are you putting in any action to do it? I feel like that will push you to becoming the person, and obviously accomplishing what you want to accomplish in life. You got to have a great accountability partners, people who will see, like, hey, okay, he may not be himself or she may not be herself, but at the end of the day, like, I see the true potential that this individual brings to the table and that they have for them.
Wow, that's it, man. Telling you, man. Okay, how do you recommend staying focused and motivated during long or challenging preparation periods? Because I mean, you got to think about it. I mean, it's hard nowadays to. Because it's one thing to like get motivated, get inspired, get hyped up, right? You go to an event and you're ready to go take over the world. But to like stay consistent and do it for a long period of time without burning out or without like giving up because you can turn yourself out or burning yourself out. Like what could someone do to stay focused? Stay motivated for a long period of time. I mean, like you know, beyond 90 days, like going 90 days, going 6 months, to going a year, to going on a 3-year run, to like a 10-year run. How does that work?
That's a great question. And that just all falls back to, what is your why? Like, when you truly identify what your why is in life, then you won't let nothing distract you. Distractions will come and stuff will come, but at the end of the day, if you know who you are as an individual and you know that you were created in God's image and you understand the importance of your why, you won't let nothing shake you. The storm may come, it may be breezy, it may be dark and everything, but eventually the sun's gonna come out. And that's just the mindset that I keep now. Like, no matter what I'm going through in life, I know on the other side of this, God already had the victory. And that's why, and I just always fall back to what my why is. My why keeps me motivated. My why keeps me the reason why I keep grinding. Even when I don't see the results, it's my why that keeps pushing me. It's like, what's those things in cars that you have? Like, if the engine never turns off, but you can still drive at times. Um, what's it called? What are they called? It's like like a backup generator. That's how your why has to be. Like, if the lights go off, you can always plug up like a backup generator to keep you pushing no matter what. It
Got you.
gives you that extra boost.
Um, if it's something else, I remember that was I was gonna ask you about. 'Cause that made. Oh yeah, I know what it was. What's your why? Like, 'cause you brought up something about your why and your why keeping you going. What would be your why? What keeps you going?
My family. I mean, everything that they sacrificed, all the people that have prayed for me and been there in my corner when I was at my lowest. I mean, I do it for the Lord, and I do it for them. I mean, that my why is my family. Just being able to be in that, just knowing that grinding and being able to be in position one day to help give back, because that's how you reach people. And then like, cause you never know like who you're gonna meet, because most of the times, not everything that we go through in life. Sometimes we don't understand it while we're going through it, but eventually it's for somebody else who we're gonna meet down the road. And so I know that there'll be people. Hey, I can tell you, like, I failed plenty of times, and I'm not ashamed to admit it. But I do know that fail. My definition of fail is first attempt in learning, and it's being able to hit like, hey, just because you're in this situation right now doesn't mean you're always gonna be here. But you have to see your way through it, and you have to believe your way through it. And that's what keeps me. It's just my why. That's just my family.
Man, that's powerful, man. So, like how we're huge readers here, we like big on books and all that good stuff. And, listening to what we were speaking about today, I got a couple books I can recommend to anyone that's watching us that's trying to get better at preparing or all that good stuff. Getting their mindset together and preparing. And two books I can recommend is one, Deep Work. Deep Work: Rules for Focused Success in a Distracted World by Kyle Newport. That is an amazing book. Um, I'll do my best to put that link that you can find that book somewhere online, maybe Amazon or something like that. I've read this book before, a couple of times. I've read the book and I've done the study notes on the book. 'Cause a lot of times when I read a book, I also try to find a study guide to also, use while I'm reading the book that helps to understand, how to actually implement what I just learned from this book or what I'm learning while I'm going through the book. So those type of things are vital. That's one thing I can say that has changed my life entirely is when I start picking up books on whatever I'm dealing with, whether so you always have the Bible to as reference to go to first, number one. But also have your Bible, but also have a book that is focused on whatever subject or whatever topic that you are working on. And if you can find every book you can on it, that's good. Because a bunch of books out there, but find like the 2 to 3 books that's on that particular subject, and go all the way in on that. The second book I would recommend is the book called Mindset. That book is crazy, man. That book is like mind blowing. Um, Mindset: The New Psychology of Success by Carol S. Dweck. That book, man. If you think, because I know that book talks about, you have a growth mindset, and you have a growth mindset and you have a fixed mindset. A person with a fixed mindset ain't trying to change. They're trying to
Right.
stay doing the same thing forever. They're never trying to grow. A growth mindset actually sits back and they think about what they're learning. They think about the things they've been through and they're open to adjusting. You know what I'm saying? To be able to expand because they understand this world is evolving. In order to keep going in this world and keep growing, you have to be able to be open, to be open minded. You know what I mean? Like it's not trying to change you from being who you are as a character, but it's just trying to like get you to expand and just learn. You know what I'm saying? To explore, to expand, all that good stuff. So reading is very vital to where you will be. You know what I'm saying? So that's those two books I want to recommend as far as like mindset and being able to prepare. All that good stuff. Now, a thing that I have never have added to what we do is we talk about the books, but for some people who refuse to read, I would also say if you refuse to read, I'm assuming that you'll watch a movie or watch a TV or show or something like that. So a movie I have that may be able to help you also would be The Pursuit of Happiness, the movie with Will Smith. Check that movie out, and that movie will probably give you some kind of inspiration. And once you watch the movie, maybe you'll take our advice and maybe pick up both of those books, even if it's just the audio version and you just listen to it. It'll still help you. I promise. My best. I'll try to do my best to throw those links into the show notes or something like that. I'm sure I can find it somewhere. Especially I may be able to find both books on probably be able to find both on YouTube. I'm not sure. If I can't find on YouTube, I got like I said, I got the Audible app and I also got a app with the library I go to, man. They like library I go to, they like put ebooks and audiobooks on the library app, which is just crazy. It's like sometimes I don't even have to use my Audible credits because I can go right to my app and use the library credit to check out a book.
Hmm.
What are you reading right now? You still reading Atomic Habits, or are you on something else?
Yeah, I'm still on Atomic Habits.
Got you. I had started some of it today. I maybe remember the part when yeah, I think in the beginning is that the book in the beginning where he got hit with a baseball or something like that? What
Yeah, he
happened?
got he got, he got
Something
hit in
happened.
the
We had to
face
get
with a
rushed to the hospital.
baseball.
I don't remember what happened.
I think he got hit in the face with a baseball bat. I think like the way the book explained it, like the bat swung out of the person's hand and it went straight to him, knocked him in the face and everything, and
Yeah, yeah, get
so
rushed to the hospital and all that stuff. So yeah,
yeah.
yeah. So yeah, I gotta start back. Like I said, I was listening to it earlier today. While I was taking it, like usually when I get ready to take a nap
Mhm.
in the daytime or whatever, I'll put some kind of book on and listen to it while before I get going. So I put it on. I remember that part, and then I woke up. It was like on like chapter 6, so I got to start all over again. So yeah, man, that's definitely like what we trying to get done, man. Um, you got anything else new going on that you working on or trying to get accomplished? I know last time we were speaking, you was telling me about you talked to a realtor or you talked to a lender or something like that about getting you prepared for like get into the home buying process. So how's that going?
Yeah, workshop, went to the workshop, talked to the lender and everything. So just getting all that rearranged and whatnot. So
Is
now
that
it's just really
is
just
that
working.
workshop like an event or just you and somebody else?
Oh, just me and just myself.
Oh, okay. I
Or
didn't know if
work
it was
with
like an event, but that's like how was it? It was like a networking type thing or
But I have gone to open houses though, which are great. And
oh
so
yeah.
those are
That was one thing I advise. That's another thing I advise people that y'all watching this. Like on especially on weekends, if you're not working and doing anything on the weekend, I mean, go to open houses. Go on Zillow and look at those houses that you go look at find houses that you like, right? Houses that you want to live in, even houses that you can't afford that you know you can't afford right now. Like heart them so you can get alerted when they have open house and they have open house. Go to the open houses. So people don't want to go to open houses because they don't want to go there. This is one thing I learned. I was one of those people. People don't want to go to certain open houses because they think when they go there, it's gonna be like someone's gonna be there trying to like pressure you to like either buy the house or they're gonna be in all your business. Like, it's almost like I mean, this how I am right now. So I won't go to like a Rolls Royce or Bentley car dealership because, like, I feel like if I go there, I'm gonna like they're gonna be like, you can't get no Rolls Royce or Bentley. So I'm trying to wait till I can actually, get one like without blinking. Go there with no, and go there. And I shouldn't be this way, and I'm working on that because I went to a Bentley lot one time with a buddy of mine. I didn't wanna go, and see, he at the time now, he had the money to get one, but we
uh-huh.
didn't look like he had the money to get one, so I'm like, "I don't wanna go," because at the time, we pulling up to the Bentley lot in my old Camry, and got no hubcaps on and all that stuff, right? And, he get out, he looking at because he's at the time, he's actually thinking about getting one. So, I'm already thinking, "Man, I know how people are, man, they see us, they don't believe we can get no Bentley," so, we looking at him, and he see this one that he likes, and the lady comes up, she's talking to us, and she's asking, talking about like what we do for a living, all that stuff, and he's telling her that he has like this big transportation towing company, and she starts talking about me and my trucking company, and like this is when I'm first getting started, so I ain't got nothing going on but just like one truck, so I'm like, and let me telling this lady that like I'm like some big truck kingpin type person, I got like all these trucks on the road. That's what he got her thinking because he's good at talking. So she's like, "Hey, y'all want to test drive this car?" And he's like, "Yeah." So I don't know what happened, but she gets his license. She go back in, and then she comes back out with like all these excuses about like they don't have the keys for this one and how to come back. But I don't believe they have. I believe she went in there and her manager was like, "Nah, they can't get no Bentley." And you know what I'm saying? I was like, I knew he shouldn't have been out here. So ever since then, I don't like go to those kind of things. But back to like the open house thing. This is like before, like this is me getting first started when I was that way about thinking about going to those kind of places. I would tell anybody, hey, you see your dream car, man, go to it. Test it out. If you can drive it, try to drive it, all that stuff. Go see what you think you may like. Cause you may get there, drive it, test drive it, get inside it, and realize you don't even really like it. You just like the way it looks, but you don't like the way it rides. Same thing with the open house. We have these ideas about what kind of dream house we want What would I do if I had this much money? What kind of house I would get? Go to those open houses and go look at them homes. And promise you, you either love what you see or hate what you see. So we used to go to open houses. We'll go to these open houses that was like 15,000 square foot homes, 20,000 square foot homes. I mean, and that's when I realized a lot of these houses are just humongous. That's it. They're
Yeah.
just big, meaning like you may go in a house and it may have a laundry room that's like 1,000 square feet. They may have huge, like 10-foot doors, like all these huge stuff for no reason. But the house is just real basic, and you're like, dang, I'm paying all these millions of dollars just for this, and it's kind of like useless space. So that's one thing I learned about, you keep to see what you actually like. So that way when you get to that point to either buy a home or either get your own custom home built, you really know what you really want. So I would advise anyone to go on Zillow and go and check out open houses around that area, like as much as you can. That way you get a good idea, you get around real estate, you get to be around other people. I would advise them to do that, and I advise them to go to real estate meetups. Another thing I plan on doing, I'm I don't know if I'm gonna be able to do it this month. I'm gonna try. I'm gonna try to go to the next real estate meetup that Miles have there. I'm gonna try my best to go to one.
Mhm.
Just to be able to network with the people around and be able to just like rub elbows. Like a lot of times it's hard for me to like, you know, I'm like 3 hours away. So stop what I'm doing here, get there, and then like come back, because it's the dreading to come back with traffic. So if I come there for one, I might just stay the night, like stay at my mom's house, and then come back the next morning or something. Not sure, but I hate getting in traffic, so I try to avoid the traffic. And I know if I come to one of those meetups, I'm probably gonna be right dead in the traffic on my way back. So, but I'm gonna try to make one because I want to be able to network with some people there. I want to be able to talk to somebody about like a certain niche of investing that they're doing. So I definitely
Mhm.
gonna try my best to tap into one of those, couple of them this year. Try to do that. So I'm gonna try to do a lot more than I would normally do, as far as like networking and communicating this year. That's one thing I'm doing my best to do is do as much do as much networking and communicating with everybody that's in the space that I can,
Mhm.
than I normally do. Because I
You don't have
haven't
a
done a lot
career?
of that. Like my when I was trying to get in real estate, I was at every event. Like I was in every event. Soon as I got into real estate, it's like the events kept getting smaller and smaller. So I stopped going to them. Like I ain't not that I didn't need them, but I just got real busy as far as actually taking action. So I need to get back to that because I was super hungry and I was getting a lot of stuff done. I'm getting things done now, but it could be a lot better, and I could be a lot easier, and I could build better relationships, which will make everything a lot more smoother by being able to connect to the right people and be able to, get ideas off other people on what they have going on. Because since I've been, the Better Life Tribe, I've things that they've talked about that I was like, dang, I never thought about that. Oh, I didn't know that. I didn't know that this was a good thing to do. And you start thinking about it, and you start doing the math. And you're like, oh man, you know, it's like, "This is alright, this is a nice city, I didn't think about this." Because when you don't put yourself in those surroundings, you only gonna think the way that you think. You have to put yourself in those rooms with those people who are doing the things that you wanna do and figure out why they do things and why they stay away from certain things. And once you can get educated on that, be unstoppable, man.
There's a term I always say like PPE. Like you got to come up with a plan. You got to position yourself. Then you just got to go execute.
Come up with a plan, position yourself, and execute.
Yeah. When
Yeah.
opportunity comes in, execute because you'll be in
Yeah, so you said
position.
PPE?
Yeah. PPE. Plan,
Gotcha.
position, execute.
Plan, position, execute. Hashtag PPE, plan, position, execute. All right,
24.
got that. You know what I'm saying? Got that, man. So, man, definitely. So, I'm trying to think of what else, man. Like, um, I figured like I wear my merch. I got my merch shirt, man. I know a lot of people had said they wanted this shirt. I wanted to make sure that the hoodie. I wanted to make sure it came out good before I like start trying to order stuff for people because I didn't want to like order crap and I didn't know what it's gonna be like. So this is the one. This is one on one that I ordered. It has like our logo A&R home buyers on it. So I'll be going places. On back of it, it has the on back of it has that question: would you take um $4,000 a week for the rest of your life, a 850 credit score, or $2 million right now? That's like has that
Oh
question,
wow.
and they like, well, why'd you put that on the back of your? Because when I go places and someone sees that and they read it, I'm in line or something, it's a conversation starter. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Someone's gonna tell me what they would choose, and then from there I could be like, "Oh, why'd you choose that?" And then we start talking about it, and then I tell them why I choose what I choose, and then we start talking about it. Next thing you know, like we're exchanging numbers because we're conversating about, something we may have interest in together. So that's why I did that because I like conversation starters. Gets you, that kind of stuff. And people know what you got going on. They see this in the front, home buyers. They're like, oh, you buy homes, or yeah, that how my landlord hat. I might go places. They be like, oh, you a landlord? Like, yeah. How'd you know? I know I have the hat on, but I'll say that to them. As far as like, it's kind of like doing like little things like that, especially somebody like me because I just don't like go around and just like start conversations with people. So,
Hmm.
it helps when you go someplace and you got like landlord on your hat or you got like some kind of advertising and someone says something to you. And once somebody open that door for me, it's easier for me to like, talk to them and stuff like that. So that's why I do that kind of thing.
It's really good to work at like those events, like you were just talking about. Like it's like, hey, like this is my company, and then you just
Right.
tell them who you are and gain business.
Right. But back to you, what would you choose since I brought it up out of those three? Two what was it $4,000 a week for the rest of your life, a 850 credit score, or $2 million right now? Like which one would you choose? A, B, or C?
B.
And why?
I would choose B because then if I have that high of a score, I can get different lines of credit to leverage to go buy um, cash flow and producing assets that will go up in value that will eventually produce me $2 million in either equity or eventually cash, depending on my strategy.
Wow, you probably the first person that I probably know personally that chose B. And I'm gonna tell you, man, that ain't how it works. Like, I've had like 800 something credit scores, stuff like that, and like even with them kind of credit scores, that thing about them giving you, a credit access to, nah, it don't work like that. I don't care. Like reason why it don't work like that because you don't have a track record to show them that you're capable of handling no matter what kind of limit. You just have a credit score showing you know how to pay certain bills on time and you're good at
Hmm.
that. Oh, but as far as like having 850 or maybe even 810, I've had an 810 before. And the thing about an 810 and a 780, they pretty much the same. You can get the same thing. Nothing different. Like if you got an 850 and I got an 810, we're gonna get the same interest rate. If I got a 780 and you got an 810, we're gonna get the same interest rate because the interest rate only could be but so low, and the line of credit only gonna be but whatever it is. And that line of credit thing goes off of like how much money you borrowed already before and your income to be enough to like pay it back. See what I'm saying? So like
Hmm.
let's say somebody with like let's say somebody that has $2 million in the bank or they have $2 million in assets, but they got a 700 credit score. They gonna get more credit lines than you because they show that they got, $2 million in assets only with a 680, 700 credit score. So that's why I'm telling you that 850 stuff, it don't really work the way people think. Where it's just, you probably can, like I said, only thing you can be able to do is whatever the lowest credit score, whatever the lowest rate you can get on that thing, that's what it's gonna
Hmm.
give you. But you're gonna get the same rate as somebody with a 750, 780. It's not gonna be too much of a difference. And that's another thing. If a person got a 750 and you got an 800, and let's say the lowest interest rate is like 3%, well, their interest rate might be 3.125 or something like that. It ain't gonna see what I'm saying? It's not gonna be nothing crazy where like you get 3% and they get 10%. You know what I mean? So like, that's the one I know about. Like most people I know pick either the $4,000 a week or the $2 million. They pick most people I know pick the $4,000 a week because that's guaranteed money every single month, 16,000 that they'll get without really having to think about it. It's almost like they already getting passive income. And the reason why I don't pick that because if you die, you don't get that money no more. Now, I've like people who do pick it, I understand it because like they probably don't know how to maximize that money. Me, I know if I get $2 million, I know how to invest $2 million into certain things that's going to generate me more than $16,000 a month. So I can take $2 million and I can like, make way more than $16,000 a month with parking it in certain places. So that's why I chose the 2 million because I could be able to maneuver with it. But if that wasn't for the case, I would definitely choose the 4,000 a week. But man, the credit score thing, you don't even have like doing the kind of stuff we do. You don't even have to have really a good credit. You can have bad credit and be able to make good moves as long as you can have the opportunities. You know what I mean? So that's one thing I can let everybody know. That credit thing don't work the way people think it do. It's that's a myth. And like I said, the reason I know it's a myth because I've been there. Like I've been there where I've had 810 credit score, but I didn't have a lot of experience in something, and I only could get what I could get. Meaning I could only get as much as whatever my asset said I could get. I couldn't get any more than that. Like, they go in and say, "Hey, man, remember time I had a 18 credit score and I tried to get a Navy Federal credit card because I had so much other stuff going on. I didn't have any
Uh-huh.
debt, but I had like my debt to income ratio was at its peak because of I had all my properties and stuff. Man, it was like, man, they wouldn't let me get more than a $500 more than a $500 limit on a Navy Federal card. And, that's the crazy thing, and then my wife, she got one, and like we said, we have one income, but, like, she had got one, and I think her first card, I think they gave her, like, 20, $30,000 on a limit of one card. Well, you gotta think, like,
Uh-huh.
that would be crazy, but that's just how it was, you know what I'm saying? So, that's why I knew it was like, "Oh, yeah, and like I said, I've always had amazing credit, never and that's probably, "How'd you get credit like that?" One thing reason why I've always had great credit is because I was brainwashed to think, and I guess it's true, but I was think that if you don't pay your bills on time, that's like you like the worst human being ever. You know what I'm saying? That's how my mom is. My mom has never missed a payment on anything. Like she's never been late on anything and she's never missed a payment. And I've always thought that's how life is. So whenever I became an adult and I started like having bills and stuff, I thought the same way. Like you have to pay your bills, like not even on time, like before they're due. And I did that. I've always done that. I think I'm gonna do it to this day. Like I have a calendar that has every single bill that I have to pay. I keep track of it and I make sure I pay it like before it's due because for some reason I feel like if you just 2 hours late on a payment that like you're gonna lose everything. That's like how my mind's wired. Like if I don't make the cell phone bill payment, I'm gonna lose everything I own. Which I know that's not true, but that's how my mind is wired to think that if you be late on some stuff, you just gonna lose everything. It's gonna be it. You're done. So that's why, that's what I mean. But it's worked out for me. So
That's good though. That's a good mindset to have.
yeah. Yeah, it's kinda crazy, man, but yeah, it's crazy to be like that, but like I said, it's not personal, it's just I'm just wired to, like, think that. Cause some things I think, I'm like, I know people once I had found out, I was like just like, if you 3 days late, man, it's not gonna be too different, it ain't gonna, like, destroy you, it's just, it's just gonna be 3 days late, you're not gonna, like, have, like,
You're
a
gonna hit the
huge
credit.
downgrade in your credit or nothing like that, but I was like, "Man," I'm like 1 hour, like, "Oh my god, 1 hour late." Man, they gonna come and confiscate everything, they gonna take my houses, they gonna take my cars, man, they gonna take the dog. On here. You know what I'm saying? They taking everything. You gotta pay them bills on time, man. Yeah. Hey, one thing I asked, how are you about like, loaning money to people? Are you big on that? You big on loaning money to people?
No, not
Uh-oh.
yet.
Uh-oh. You mean you have done it and it just didn't work out way, or you just never really been on like just letting people loaning people money? The borrower is
Never
slave to the
really,
lender.
never really been on it like that. I mean, you gotta really like, you gotta vet it. I mean, you gotta vet people when you do stuff like that. Truly, because when you could do it, and if you do it from your heart, you're gonna get it back. But sometimes, I mean, depending on what it is, you may not see it no more.
You're probably not gonna see it no more. I can tell you that. Like most likely, if somebody comes to you that needs to borrow some money, you most likely you're not gonna see that money again. If anything, they're gonna come to you and ask you for more money. Cause now they be like, "Oh, Mike's an ATM. He's like a personal ATM. So I'm just gonna go ahead and I'm gonna go borrow this $150 from Mike. Tell him I got him next Friday. Next Friday come, I ain't gonna be nowhere to be found, and I'm gonna like, Imma think, "Oh, Mike's doing well, man. He just came from Denver, having a life, came hopped off the PJ, hopped off the private jet to Denver and back. Nah, he don't need his 150. I'll make sure I get to him whenever I get it together, that ain't never happening. If anything, if they see Mike get on another PJ, they come and see, "Yeah, man, I was trying to see if I could, be able to, you loan me like, $100 till such and such. I mean, I know I owe you that 150 before, but I promise, man, I got you, man. I just, got into a jam. I was getting ready to get back to you then, man. Such and such came up. That's when you start taking advantage of you. And you start having that sour taste for 'em, people like that. So
Makes you not wanna. Was that one bad apple spoils it all?
it spoils it all, man. So that's what I tell anybody that's watching this. Like, I ain't with that. I'm not with that letting people borrow money stuff. Um, now now one thing I could do and I would do, I would give somebody some money, meaning I'll give you some money
Yeah,
and there's 2 like
I'll do
things.
that.
Imma give you some money, but don't ever ask me for money again. That's one thing. Second thing is, I do want you to pay me back, but I'm not gonna make you feel like you have to pay me back. Meaning, I'm gonna give you this money, meaning there's no obligation. Now, if you want to go out your way later on down the line and come pay me back, hey, here's that money, maybe with some interest, man, I love that. You know what I mean? Like, I got a friend that I had let borrow some money one time, and I knew if he needed to borrow money from me, he really needed it because he always had money. So for him, he must have been in a jam, and I knew like this kind of person he is, kind of character he is. I knew I was getting that money back. I knew I was probably getting that money back with some interest. I knew it. Like I didn't even have to. I just guessed it. And he said he needed some money till whatever. So he got the money, and then he came back and he gave me big time interest on that money. I think it was like I think I let him borrow like $1,000, and then like maybe 2 weeks later he gave me 1,200. And you know what I
Wow.
mean? And I mean I kind of figured I didn't even know. I thought he was gonna give me like maybe $20 or something just because I didn't think he gave me 200 extra. So you know, but he's like the only one that would do something like that.
You can trust him. So not
Yeah,
like
yeah,
if you
yeah, yeah, I trust him, like I said, for him to come to me because he needed money real quick, I mean, I knew that he was in the gym, something's probably tied up because he always had money, so, I just knew it was probably something tied up with whatever he had going on. I ain't asked no questions, like, "Hey, no problem." Boom, I knew it was coming. So, you know what I'm saying? You like that, but then you got those other friends that, they this is what they try to do to you. This is how they do it. You got them other people, man, they be like, they come to you and they'll start asking you these weird questions, like they concerned or they happy for you or they, what I mean? It's coming. Like, man, this dude acting kind of strange, and like actually, they start saying, yeah, man, how's such and such? Start asking about family in the family they don't never ask about, and you like, man, no, what is this? What is he finna ask me? Like you saying it in your head, and then next thing you know, they hit you with the story, and they hit you with, and you let me, and in my head, I'm like, man, like, and it's not. That's what I want people to understand. It's not about the actual money. It's more about the principle, and it's more about, like, man, I'm trying to make things happen. I'm trying to, like, make moves, and you you're like an anchor to me. Like, you're pulling me away from what I need to be doing because you decided to be reckless with whatever you got going on. Like, I watched you be reckless. I watched you be reckless while I was over here making sacrifices. You know what I'm saying? I watched you go get new cars off the lot while I was over here driving 20, 30-year-old cars that need emissions and all that other crap. All the stuff that's messed up, like, need paint like, all the things, I'm out here I'm out here making sacrifices while you out here balling. So, when you have those kind of people that, do that to you, it's annoying because you like, "I knew this was coming." Especially if you just seen them, like, been around people, man, I've seen them get big chunks of money. I'm talking about they get big money, like 25,000 type, things happen to them, and they just run through the money. And then next thing
wow.
you know, they hitting you with me. "You think I borrow $500, till Friday?" No, that's an automatic no. Like, like no, like no. That's a no, man. That's a no, straight up. Like
If
that's the
it's
type
like
of thing you ask me, man. I'm probably like you definitely finna go on the list where you're not picking the phone up no more for you, man. You asking me some crazy stuff, man. 500 to woo. Oh,
if
make
it's like lunch or gas, then yeah, I don't mind doing something like that. But if it's like if it gets over like a certain amount, like I got the number in my head, I'm like, nah,
yeah.
it's going like we might have to get something in black and white. Like,
Man, and that don't even work sometimes, man. Like the black and white thing, like, man, one time I had a cousin, man. He hit me up. He's like, I don't know what the situation was, but he needed they needed like $1,000. This is another situation. It's like $1,000, and this is so long ago, but he gave me the title to his car, and at the time, I mean, he had a lot of money in his car. So I'm like, well, if he don't pay money, I'll just take his car because I mean he had a lot of money in the car. I mean, his rims on his car was like 4 grand. You know what I mean? Like the system in the car was like, 3 or 4 grand. Like he had a lot of money in his car. So I'm like, hey, I got this title. If things go wrong, I'll just take the car. So I get on the money. He turns around and maybe a couple weeks later, he get into some kind of trouble where he's like running from the police in the car. Car had a crazy motor in it too. So I'm talking about he running from the police in the car. The police, he's on a police chase. He actually gets away from the police. He wrecks the car though. Like the car flips. He wrecks the car. gets away from the police. The car, like he gets away, runs, and see this happened so long ago. So statute of limitation thing, if is when this is like 15 years ago, maybe longer than that. Man, he runs behind some old lady house. It's like 2 in the morning. She sees all cut up and bleeding. She like gets them together, puts her in her car, and gives him a ride home. And then they report the car stolen.
Oh wow.
And yeah, they report the car stolen. And then I get the phone call like, man, they done told the car. You know, because of how I am, man. Like the compassion of me and how I am about things. I'm not even thinking about if he's all right or not. I'm just being 100. The first thing I'm thinking about is, man, dang, I just let him borrow that money. So I end up getting like maybe I can't remember if it was $700 or $300 out of $1,000 they owed me, but they still owed me. And when that happened, man, that's when I fell back. When that happened, I was like, "Yep, that was my sign that I just need to get away from y'all." And that's when I
It
just
takes that
started
one
falling
that
back
one
because I don't like losing money, and I don't like. That's
yeah,
why I started thinking, start falling back. I'm like, man, you don't need to be around people, and you got love for them, but you don't need to be around nobody that you feel like is not helping you get to the next level. That's only gonna hold you back. You know what I'm saying? Like you don't wanna be around none of them people. I don't care who they are. I don't care how close y'all are. If they gonna hold you back or keep you the same, run as fast as you can. Get away from them. They can say you being funny, all funny acting all they want. I
and
got man. You only got one life to live, and then you can't afford being around those kind of people if they're gonna be holding you back and keeping you down. You can't
don't
afford
that
it.
mess your
So if you can do everything you can to get away from them kind of people, do it. You know what I'm saying? Your future will appreciate it. And they'll have you give them their time to get it together, but you don't have time to play with your life and have your life in their hands by being around a bunch of nonsense, man. You gotta be around people that get to the next level if you want to get to the next level. That's all it is, man. So, but yeah, straight up. But that's one thing about life, man. You learn as you go, and it's good to get those things in early, and it's good to learn what you can do, and all that good stuff, man. Learn those different things to be able to get to the next level, and get to the next level, and be like, I'm glad this happened to me, even though it was inconvenience. The thing that was is how bad it was and how it sucked. But you learn so much from those situations. You learn what to tolerate and what not to tolerate. So, and I think
that's
people need to
part
hear
of
that, 'cause
life.
a lot of times people feel, like they obligated to, like, be there for, family and friends, but you're not, you know what I'm saying? Definitely not. I don't even pick the phone up for everybody. Everybody know that. I mean, that ain't no secret, you know what I'm saying? Like, the thing is people know who on that list, my favorite list. I got that favorite list where only certain people can call my phone at certain times and get through, you know? If you can call my phone before 12 p.m. or after 6 p.m., I answer, you on the list. If you call my phone between those times and I don't, and then the phone goes straight to voicemails, that means you on the regular list. Means you on the list that I got the option to think about calling you back or texting you back or not. But if you can call me and that phone go through, then you on that list. There's not many people on that list, and you got to keep like that. You got to be strategic who you allow in, and allow out. So
Your time matters. I mean, our time is our most
it's
valuable
valuable.
asset that we have.
It,
Is our time.
yep, thing you can't get back, and you
No,
can't waste time. You cannot waste time letting people who mean your time no good, who don't care. They just want to be able to rant to you. Waste your time about 2 hours just listening to them complain about something. They're gonna get off the phone with you and then call somebody else and do the same thing. They're gonna probably call about 6 people that day and complain about the same thing and spend 12 hours in a day talking about nonsense. They could have spent those 12 hours putting their energy into something to be able to, like, not even have to complain, to be able to push through whatever that thing is they complaining about. The people feel too entitled, you know what I'm saying? Too entitled. They feel like something's owed to them. Watching too much TikTok, too much Instagram. They seeing,
and that can end in
people
violence.
complain. That's all you see in the comments complaining. They think such and such because such and such is on this level, they should do this or such and such. That's the most annoying thing I see when they talk about, like, these people who sign these contracts, or these people who sign up to do these movies, sign up to be celebrities or whatever it is they sign up to do. They hire some kind of lawyer. The lawyer tell them what's on that contract that they're signing up for. They see what they getting paid, but they thinking about the opportunity. So they go ahead and sign it, and they go ahead and agree to this payment. This project that they're doing, movie, TV series, music album, whatever it is, It sells way more than anybody thinks it's gonna sell. Now they feel like they should get more than what they agreed to. You do not get what you deserve. You get what you negotiate. You do not get what you deserve. You get what you negotiate. That's across the board. You can make this about race. You can make this about whatever. But the thing is, if you agree to that, that is what it is. Because one thing people don't do is if that movie flops and you got more than what it you know, if you got more than what the movie did, you don't go back and be like, "Hey, I know that movie did flop. I'm gonna give you back some of the money that we agreed to." Nobody ever does that. But as soon as
Nope.
a movie do way more than it should, that's when they want to get, you know what I'm saying? So that, you know what I'm saying, that's that you gotta understand, man. You got to understand what you're getting yourself into. That's in anything. That's the Scottie Pippen contract that he be complaining about. He signed up for that. They tried to warn him. He signed up for that contract to be able to make that kind of money. And then when he outperformed what he thought and he lasts longer than he thought, and he saw what everybody else is getting, and he started getting mad. Bruh, you signed up for that. You're a grown man. Eat that, man. We all make mistakes, but don't get mad after the fact. Because I promise you, if if something happened where he owed some money to the team, to the owner of the team, he wouldn't be like he would be mad if he had to pay some money back. You know what I'm saying? So see that contract Michael Vick signed. Michael Vick had signed that contract. I forgot what it was, like $100 million when he was with the Falcons, and he got in trouble, man. He had to pay some of that. He had to pay a whole lot of that money back because that was in the contract. If you go out here and do some crap and whatever, you had to pay that money back because that's what I'm saying. Everything's an investment, and you got to protect your interest. I know a lot of stuff can be like, dang, that's cold, but man, people don't be wanting to hear that kind of stuff. People that, it's business, man. Business is different from this emotional personal stuff. When it comes to business, it can get real cutthroat out here. And you'll realize that when you go through some things and you feel like, dang, how can they do this? Because it's about that bottom line, man. People protecting their interests. You know, they protecting their interests in their generational and people that they leaving the money to. Because if they let you get away with some stuff, then they taking food out of their great grandchildren's mouth. So that's how you have to look at it.
Powerful. And that's real though. I mean, that's 100% real.
Telling you, man.
Protect your
Man,
interests.
protect your interest, man. Protect your interest, man. As always, man, we always do this thing, try to give them a good hour, you know what I'm saying? Try to get them a good hour every week as much as we can, man. I just started uploading lot of the clips from last week. So we're always a week ahead, which is I'm start uploading these clips 'cause, man, each video we do, man, probably make about 30 clips out of this. So I'm liking this
Oh
because
well.
we're keeping it going. And if I can keep making this going and keep getting better, getting adjusted, and make these things, listen to them, like, okay, what can I adjust? What can I do better? And that's what it's about. Because like I know ain't none of them gonna be perfect in the beginning. But the whole
Right.
thing is us being consistent, us, have an idea. This time we came with like a topic. We had prepared for it. We had some questions. We went over them. You answered them amazingly. So I know people gonna be like, man, he's spitting some stuff. Because people been telling me that, like, man, the guest you have on your podcast, man, he be talking some stuff. I'm like, yes, my boy Mike, man, he be on it, man. Telling you. So, man, I was like, bring up the topic. He's like, keys to preparation. So I'm like, okay, let me try to give me a bullet point, get some ideas, ask some questions. So that way, when other people be looking at this stuff and they chopping these clips up, we ask a question, you answer it, and somebody can relate to it. It like helps expand what we're talking about, and it helps get us, get more. Makes the algorithm go deeper. People like want to actually listen to us, follow us. I know a lot of people don't catch us live because I see people coming in and out, but I guess we hadn't got to that point. But the whole point is to keep pushing, to keep pressing on. You know what I'm saying? To get these things better, and just to keep doing what we do, man. So, and I'm trying to get more. I'm trying to get more educated on things. I'm trying to be able to have more things we can talk about. I'm trying to have more things that other people want to hear about. That's really what it's about. People want to understand. People want to learn. People want to get close. People want to be in better positions they're in. Not saying that they're in bad positions, but everybody wants to improve a lot of times. They want to grow.
Right.
And what better way to grow to be able to just, if you run across one of our videos and we're talking about personal experiences, things we go through, things that, roadblocks we may have, people may be able to relate and they be able to chime in like, I went through this too. And they maybe want to tell their story. And we can also, like I said, we can always invite other people on here and they come on here and tell us about their story, man. I'm all for that too.
100%.
You know what I'm saying? But right now it's me and you and it's all good, you know what I'm saying? Because, doing what we do. So
Heck, I mean, we would do like even like the phone calls like last year. We always said like we got to do a podcast like and
yeah,
so like
yeah,
that's
man. Cause we talk about crazy stuff, man. Was like, dang, I wish I had this recorded.
yeah
I
like
hate that with a passion to be able to be on the phone and to like be going on some good stuff and it's not recorded and I can't save it. So it's like that's why we do it like this way now. It's like, hey, let me
yeah,
send
it's
you the
all
StreamYard link and we gonna get this stuff on wax and gonna chop it up how we chop it up. So that's exactly how we got this thing going, man. Hey man, before we get out of here, man, you wanted to like, did you let everybody know something or you want to like talk about something before we go or you was everything?
just like we had talked about preparation. Just whatever goals or plans that you have in life, just find that scripture Habakkuk chapter 2 verse 2, and then just keep working the plan. Just keep working the plan that you have. I mean, just keep on taking the steps that you need, and eventually you're gonna end up being in the place that you need to be. You're gonna accomplish what you destined your heart to. But you just can't give up. That's the biggest thing. As long as you don't give up, you're gonna get to what you have. And then always
Man,
remember PPE plan. Come up with a plan. Position yourself. And then once you're positioned, when the right what's meant for you won't pass you by, then you just go ahead and execute.
execute. Plan, position, execute. PPE. Yeah, I'm with
Yeah.
that, man. All right,
And thanks for
man.
having
Go
me
ahead and
on
get
here,
on out
man.
of here, man. Been here for an hour. Like I said, we appreciate anybody that's checking this stuff out and catching us, man. Like I said, we in the beginning stages, we getting this thing together, man. So we appreciate anybody that's supporting and if anybody got anything that they want us to cover and all that good stuff, and you're watching this, let us know in the comments, hit us up, you know what I'm saying, on social media, and like I said, we'll elaborate. If you want to come on here and tell your story, or you got some kind of business thing going on, 'cause that's what we talk about mostly, just like business stuff, um, uh, uh, business things, self help things, motivational things, all that good stuff. That's what we talk about. We don't talk about nonsense. We don't talk about messiness. So we're not gonna go in here and we're not gonna come here talking about, hey, did we see that Cat Williams interview or did we? No, we ain't talking about none of that stuff. So saying I don't have time for that. But yeah, man. Like I said, we out of here. We appreciate y'all checking it out. And yeah, until next time, it's me, it's Mike. We out.
All right. See ya.